Hello, YFC family. It's good to be with you today. And today I'm here with Leanne Hill from Youth for Christ Northern Ireland. And we're just going to have a little chat about what they're doing in Northern Ireland and their prayer initiatives that they have going on there. So welcome, Leanne. It's great that you could be with us today. And so firstly, I'd just love you to share a little bit about yourself, where you live and what role you have, and how you got started with this prayer stuff.
Yeah, I'm Leanne Hill. My role with YFC Northern Ireland is Centre Support Coordinator. So I think technically the three kind of P's that sum up my work is practical, pastoral and prayerful support for our staff across our 10 centres or projects in Northern Ireland for their volunteers and their boards. So that is my main role, and I've been doing that for about 2 years now.
Wonderful. And I met you over Zoom, actually, when I was in Ireland. We didn't get to meet in person.
Yeah.
But you were telling me then a little bit about your role in the prayer initiatives that are happening there. So could you just share how that started and what you've been doing since?
Yeah. So about a year ago, actually, kind of December 2022, kind of time, a couple of us on our national team, I just felt a real sense of God calling us to pray, and to pray quite urgently. So 2 weeks before Christmas, or a week before Christmas, I think, actually, we sent an email to all of our centre staff, and we said, in January, we're going to pray. So we took a month at the start of January last year, and we asked our projects to set aside at least one day a week that we just spent in prayer. And that looked different for some of our centres. Some of them had a physical space. Some of them did prayer walks. They invited other people to be a part of that. But we were intentionally saying we'd love you to set aside at least a day. And then to finish that month, then we had 24 hours of prayer right across all of our projects.
That's amazing. And can you just tell us a little bit about what that 24-hour prayer looks like?
Yeah, so within that 24 hours, we set up a virtual prayer room online, so through the 24/7 prayer website, which is great, really simple to do. So we set up 24 hours. We just sent out to anyone who was connected to Youth for Christ NI, so prayer supporters, donors, volunteers, board members, staff, friends, and we just call people to pray with us for the 24 hours to fill each hour in prayer, right through the night as well. And then we just collated some information from each of our centres, some prayer points, and we sent those out, and we got people to pray online. Through those 24 hours as well, then we as a national team went to all of our 10 projects and spent some time praying with them in their space. So that was incredible, just for those 24 hours to be able to say, we are praying, we're on the road, and we're going to pray in your location. So that's what it looked like. And then we ended up actually doing that again in May, another 24 hours, and then another one in September to start a little bit of a rhythm throughout the year as well.
That's so wonderful. That's very exciting. And when I was talking to you in November, you said you'd seen a massive shift as a result of starting these prayer initiatives. Just wondered if you had a couple of testimonies that you could share with us or describe some of those shifts.
Yeah. So as well as, I guess, our moments throughout the year where we stop for 24 hours, we again just really called all of our centres to start to put in rhythms of what does it look like to incorporate prayer weekly and even daily, or even in a month. What does that look like in your centre? So as they started to do that, I guess we wanted to capture what was happening as well. So we started a little bit of a wall of thankfulness in our office, just to give thanks for what God was doing. And a couple of major things, I think, right across the board was we just seen massive shifts in young people. So young people who had been disengaged, who even behaviour maybe had been quite difficult. There'd been a lot of disrespect even for staff or volunteers. We just saw that shift massively in so many young people, and even young people who were completely uninterested in faith actually start to ask questions. And one example of that is in one of our projects. There was one guy in particular who had just been having lots of issues, but two of our male staff said, right, we're going to journey with him one-to-one. They took him to play badminton in a local church hall. It was his first time in a church. He started to go, what's this about? Tell me more about this. He wanted to know more about God. They got him a Bible. he was like struggling with that. So they downloaded an audio and he started listening to the Bible, and he ended up coming to faith not long ago. He gave his life to Jesus, and since then, so too has his mom and dad, which is incredible. So that's completely, his life is completely transformed. And we believe that's because of prayer. And another example, I guess, for lots of charities, finance and fundraising can be a massive challenge. And last year we were in a place where that was difficult, and we have 100% seen a shift in that. Not that we're flush, but actually we have seen a real shift, and the burden and the weight of that has definitely been lifted. So lots to give thanks for.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I believe that you have a big prayer event planned for January. So by the time people are watching this, you would have already had that event. But can you just let us know what's planned for January, how you're starting the year?
Yeah. So again, going into starting the year, we just feel like we want to pray. And so we are doing 24/7. So we are taking a full week from the 5th to the 12th of January. And again, calling all of our centres and projects to pray. So for the first 2 days, we as a national team are going to have a physical prayer space where we invite people to come and be during the day. We will again, for the whole 7 days, have our virtual prayer room, sign up online. So people are covering every hour throughout the week. And then from Monday to Friday, our 10 projects are going to, 2 projects a day are going to take a day. And they're going to spend some time inviting their people, their supporters, to come and pray, whether that's a prayer walk or a worship gathering. They're being really creative. Some of our guys have had things like prayer and pancakes, where they invite local leaders to come and pray with them in the morning, and in the evening they go for a prayer walk. So throughout the week there'll be lots of creative prayer things going on, and then on the Friday evening, at the last day of it, we will finish with a worship and prayer celebration all together. So really excited and expectant for that week in January.
That's excellent. And I look forward to hearing the shifts that happen as a result of that too. That'll be wonderful to hear. So maybe we can do follow-up after that.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah, finally, I'd love just to hear if you had any advice for anyone who is thinking about starting a prayer initiative or would like to do something similar. What would you say to them?
I think be creative and start simple. So it doesn't have to be a massive prayer space. It doesn't have to be 24 hours overnight. I know that can seem daunting for people, but actually to start to put in simple, small rhythms. And as I say, something as simple as prayer and pancakes, but actually even young people want to get involved in that because they get their pancake on the way to school. So actually something really small that just brings people together to start to go, we want to pray and contend for our young people. So yeah, just start simple and be creative.
Wonderful. Well, it was so lovely to have this chat, and I'm really grateful for all that you're doing in Northern Ireland, and excited to see what God's going to continue to do through Youth for Christ Northern Ireland. So bless you and all the ministry that you're doing there, and thanks again for being with us.
Thank you. Bye.